Hey guys, this is Cam for 15 and finally joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf,
I'm back. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys.
my friend Denzel. And he's been out the last 2 weeks because obviously Mother's Day weekend he left for Mexico. And was the last time he went to Mexico the week before Mother's Day?
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, I did not expect to go 2 weeks in a row, but it happened.
Yes. While he was gone, obviously you guys know I held down the fort. But before we start this episode review, the last two episodes, what were your thoughts on the last two episodes? You don't have to go into detail, but what are some quick thoughts on what you had for the last two episodes?
Dude, this anime it just keeps getting better and better and better. I'm hesitant to say that I like it better than My Hero Academia. I don't know for sure just yet because we're not that far into this series.
Well, you're not. I am. I'm just being. Am I being honest? Am I being honest?
Screw you. Anyways.
You have to. You guys, if you want to know how he feels about my things towards My Hero, watch our My Hero Academia reviews. Trust me. Anyways, continue.
Anyways, yeah, like this anime just started out with just this boy, and then all of a sudden it just keeps developing. Like I did not expect it to make me feel so much emotions. Like,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, I think let's get into this week's episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got Dragon Quest episode 32. The episode felt pretty fast, but at the same time felt pretty slow too. But it felt more fast. But like by the time we got the resolution of the fight, things kind of just sped up to what we got in this whole thing. Anyways, the fight again. What can we say? I've said it the last 2 weeks. The fight for Dai versus Baran has been insane. Mm-hmm. Just the animation, everything. I think there's nothing else we can do. Now, the whole plan was Hinako wanted Crocodile to throw him up into the air. And obviously Crocodile's like, okay, well, we can't fight this guy in the air. We're at an obvious disadvantage. But Hinako's like, just throw me up there. You know, I got a plan. And what happens when he does that?
Yes, Hyunko tosses his sword up, but Baran zaps him with a Zapple spell. And that's when he realized that the sword ended up in Dai's hand.
Yes. So, go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, so Dai's using, obviously Hinako's blade. And essentially Hinako's like, you need to hurry up, use this thing like right now before it disintegrates into nothingness. Otherwise, all our hope is lost. Because even though my blade might be able to take some of your power, it will not be able to take all of it for a long period of time. So, we find out that Hinako's blade is weaker than Baran's blade too. So it kind of becomes a battle of wills. And to say that this fight literally turned into what I would say, I know, again, I saw the comment sections and stuff like that from last week. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but listen, this whole portion literally looked like something out of Dragon Ball Z.
Hello, it's Akira Toriyama.
Well, Akira Toriyama made the Dragon Quest designs.
Yes, but he's still involved, basically.
Yes, of course. But this was insane. Now there was a little portion of CGI used in the fight. I didn't mind it too much. It was fine. It was all right to me. I'm kind of like mixed when it comes to anime using CGI. I don't like it, but at the same time, if it's used fine and it's not a lot, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it is what it is. You just got to deal with what you're dealt with when it comes to the animation.
It is what it is. Right, Cameron? It is what it is.
Yeah, Denzel.
See what we did? See what we did there, guys?
Now, in the meantime, um, as the fight's going on, it's starting to look like it's kind of becoming to the point where Baron's starting to get more of an upper hand on Dai here. And we focus back to Leona trying to revive Pop. Now, I think I looked away for like a bit on one of the scenes, but then when I looked back to my laptop because I was watching the Clipper game at the same time, we see Pop walking in the afterlife, and essentially when I cut away for a bit and then look back, I see Goma-chan flying. So I don't know if Goma-chan did something. I don't know if you paid attention fully to the scene.
Goma-chan was flying. I mean, talking.
Yeah.
Literally.
I understood that part, but how did he end up in the afterlife? Was it just?
Technically, Goma-chan also died right there. Technically.
Anyways, do you care to explain what Goma-chan was trying to tell Pop here?
Your screen froze.
Am I here?
Like, your screen froze.
Okay, back from those technical difficulties, but explain what Goma-chan was trying to tell Pop.
Like please don't go to Dai is fighting by himself, and Pop was all like, I did the best I could. There's nothing I can do now and stuff. And then Goma-chan snapped and said, "You weakling," and stuff. And that's when like Pop just like stuff like, what did you just say? Like, you weakling up that easily and stuff.
Yeah, and this presumes to have the corpse of Pop fire up, I guess what you would say, some sort of blast, which distracts Baron long enough for Dai to do the finishing of On Straws. And that's when he finished.
Camera froze again.
Can you still hear me?
Your camera froze again.
Okay, sorry for that quick interruption, guys. Internet connections with us. But so if there's any breaking up, that's probably why. Anyways, what were we last talking about?
About Pop's corpse.
Yeah. I remember. So anyways, what happens is because of Pop does the distraction, it makes Dai have an opening to be able to take out Baron. He takes out Baron pretty easily with an Avant Strauss. Now it doesn't end up killing Baron like I guess I thought at first, but it just takes him down and brutally wounds him. So after the battle is over, we find out that Pop essentially has not been resurrected yet, and it's looking like, oh, Pop's gonna die, you know, it's over for him. But then that's when we see Baron come back again, brutally beaten, bloodied, worn out, barely has any energy. He walks up, and essentially he does this thing where I'm guessing he drops this little, I guess, piece of blood or this drop of blood on Pop. It gets on him, and he leaves, and then he essentially tells Dai, finally acknowledging him as Dai, not Dino, that there cannot be two Dragon Knights that live in this world. The next time we meet, we will fight essentially to the death. And if I win, I can do what I want. That's destroy every human. But if you win, you can fight for the humans and destroy the Dark Army, essentially. So they're definitely teasing. We're gonna maybe get a Dai versus Baron fight into the future of this series. Don't know when. But the one interesting thing that I did take away after Baron did leave is Hineko brought up the point that Baron essentially looked like he regained his human heart back. And he's saying his way to atone for his sins of the past is that he wants his own son Dai to take him down. I guess as a way to, like I said, atone for his sins and I guess pass on to the next life to see his wife, Sola, I guess you can say.
We should also talk about what Leona was what spell Leona was using.
I think we already knew what spell she was using from the last episode.
You know the name of the spell?
I forgot the name of the spell, but if you want to bring it up, go ahead.
Yes, it's called Zing. Yeah, it's like a, and in this show it's pretty accurate. Like it's not always gonna work. Let's just say that because I should know because I was just playing the game and I tried to use Zing on one of my characters. it kept failing. It kept failing. and then they all end up dying in the end.
Yes. Last takeaways for Baron as a character. I like his character at the end of the day. He seems like a very conflicted character that he's teetering on the side of his Dragon Knight side and all the stuff that he was supposed to become, but at the same time, he has that human side to him, like because mostly of Sola, and I guess you can say his wife too, and stuff like that. But what were your thoughts on Baron? I feel like in this way they humanized him a lot more and stuff like that, and they made him feel like, okay, we don't know if he's gonna fight on the side of good necessarily. He's kind of like an anti type of hero or something like that.
Let's just say I can understand why he does what he does after what he's been through in the past.
Yeah. Now, we're not saying we condone all his actions. We can get behind him. It's definitely like certain characters are. Say this. It's like Endeavor. He abused his family. Some people still hate Endeavor for what he did and say that guy can never be atoned ever again. But there are some people in the My Hero Academia fandom that say, you know what? Yes, he did all those bad things, and yes, those can't be forgiven. But he can still try to make up the best way he can to at least get some people on his side, or do the best he can to atone for them, essentially. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, which is what he's trying to do in this current season and the anime.
Yeah, so we don't know. I don't know if Baron's gonna make a reappearance and maybe fight Dai or maybe help Dai in some point. I would like it if he comes back and he assists Dai in a way, and I guess you could say maybe a sacrificial type of thing. It would make sense. Who knows? Maybe it could happen to against, which we'll get into a few seconds, Vearn. Maybe he sacrifices his life in a battle against Vearn that gives Dai that next extra push to be able to take him out.
Speaking of Vearn, let's talk about what went down with Hadlar and King Vearn, shall we?
You want to explain this? Because I'm sorry. When he did, I know I'm going a little ahead, but when Vearn did the whole 3 strikes you're out thing, I kid you, when he was counting down every strike, I was literally laughing.
Oh. But at the very end, you did take out Avon the hero, which earned him that
final chance. And I'm like, of course, it isn't never easy. I literally thought when he put his finger down, I thought he was going to slice his head off, like, on contact.
It was at this moment Hadlar knew. He effed up. Not.
Anyways, you want to talk about the entire scene and stuff like that?
Yeah, like, after that fight, Hadlar was like, this is the worst case scenario and stuff. Like, Baron couldn't defeat Dai, and Baron didn't die either, so.
And Dai knows essentially his true potential.
And that's when King Vearn summons him. Dun dun dun. And yeah, that's when King Vearn starts looking down on Hadlar, saying, "Raise your head, Hadlar." So, and Hadlar was like, "Forgive me, King Vearn. It was my responsibility and all that stuff." And King Vearn was like, well, you did hide the facts from me that Dai was also a Dragon Knight, so...
Yeah.
And King Vearn also like pointed out that he's a pretty patient guy and stuff. He's
Yes.
taking 3 chances. And why I'm holding my fingers up like Vearn did is entirely up to me. I can honestly take this. He went like what were the 3 stuff that he mentioned? Like
He mentioned the fact that they lost the Papnica and Ramos Kingdom. So that was strike 1. Strike 2 was having Henical and Crocodile, 2 Legion commanders, start over to the opponent's side, which was strike 2. And then strike 3 was the fact that, oh, you brought your entire force, your entire army to the one island when the half hot, half cold guy was still alive. I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
Flazard.
Flazard was still alive, and you still couldn't defeat Dai and his allies. And like that, he's like, 3 strikes, you're out. But then it's looking like Hadlar's like, I'm gonna die here. But then Vearn's like, actually, you did kill a Vaughn, so I guess I'll let that one slide. So you're getting one last chance, essentially. So essentially, what we thought who was the big bad of this show is getting one final chance, but it seems like the real true big bad is Vearn. Now it's funny because the little scythe guy, I know, I forgot his name too. He's like, why don't we just kill this dude? Like, really? But Vearn's like, well, guess what? When you're desperate, you'll tend to do whatever it takes to do what you want to accomplish, which in any case, even in real life sense, is absolutely true. If you're a desperate man, you'll do anything, even if it's stealing your own mom's money. Okay. So yes, Hadlar's getting one last chance. I feel like his last chance is definitely gonna fail. And I feel like he's gonna go back to Vearn, do the whole pleading like, I'm sorry, Dark King Vearn, it's not my fault. I tried the best I could. And then he's probably gonna die.
And the true main villain will be King Vearn at the very end, I bet.
Yeah. We also do find out that Baron could actually fight with Vearn. Like he can actually maybe even beat him because it seems like Vearn fears the power of Dragon Knights when they find out their full potential, which would make sense because we were told in the last 2 episodes, Dragon Knights essentially, I guess in the Dragon Quest world, are probably the most powerfulest things in the entire Dragon Quest world. So, in other words, that's why he was upset that, great, Dai now knows his full potential and what he really is, and that's a Dragon Knight, and you hid this from me, which Hadlar knew from the jump of the series anyways. So, yeah, trying to think of anything else from the scene. Oh, yes. He did say it was very hard to convince Baron to join the Dark Army, so, yeah. And then he also says Baron probably is not going to come back and join the Dark Army, which makes sense. Why would you go back when you're just going to probably be your own dude? That's kind of where the episode ends off. So next week, it seems like Zabarero's got some sneaky plan, and it involves Pop again, maybe potentially somewhat almost dying, and Hadlar being desperate as shit. Maybe to probably bring out Dai to fight him. Which is going to be very interesting. But again, like we said, when men are desperate, they'll do anything what it takes to win. Anyways, any final thoughts of the episode? Because I thought the episode was good.
It's pretty solid. Oh my god.
Yeah, we got a pretty...
This anime.
Yeah.
I just don't know what next.
Yeah, we got a pretty nice conclusion to this arc. I don't mind it at all. It was a nice resolute ending. It shows that Baron still in somewhere in that heart of his has a tiny bit of humanity left in him. Again, will he show up? He'll probably most likely show up because, hey, we said the same thing for Crocodile and Henical, if they might show up, and lo and behold, they re-showed up again. So I figured Baron will re-show up again. I don't think he'll show up in a way in to fight Dai again. I feel like it's going to be a way where he's going to actually fight side by side with Dai, and maybe probably against Vearn, where he will maybe eventually, I guess you can say, sacrificed his life for him. But anyways, we're gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode. I did read some people's comments talking about how underrated Dragon Quest Dai is. Again, I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody saying Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai is a very underrated series. I think the reason why it's very underrated and doesn't get much talking about is because there's other big anime out when it came out at the time, and even through winter. Like, you got to remember, ReZero was out during the winter time, so everybody was talking about ReZero every week. They weren't talking about Dragon Quest Dai. Some people were talking about My Hero Academia this season because that's probably the biggest thing this season. Jujutsu Kaisen was another big thing. I understand. I love Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai. It sucks that it doesn't get a lot of talking about, but there's many animes you can scroll across the list of every season and say this was a very underrated anime and nobody talks about it. But that's just anime, really, you know, in all general. Any thoughts about that?
You make a good point there.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Dragon Quest content, as well as anything other that I upload to the channel. Again, I'm also doing Resident Evil 8 playthrough on my YouTube channel. That's going really good. So if you guys like to see me get scared, please watch that. I uploaded part 9 today. I thought I was gonna get to recording some of it tonight, but I'm probably not. Probably just save my little. It's probably best that I save my little heart, as well as save my night. Anyways, other than that, guys, we're gonna get out of here, guys. So if you guys like, again, hopefully you guys stay safe out there. Be careful. Yada yada yada. Dangerous world we got out there. Anyways, stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, peace.
Peace.